Hello, everybody, and welcome to Magic Bringers Rising for the week of June 26th through July 2nd. Oh, and we are like a good deal into summer already, but find out what this kind of bipolar passions rising week has in store for us and what you can do, the hot tips to stay grounded and centered and focused on your mission, your manifestations, and your wonderful energy. Stay tuned. Welcome to Magic Bringers Rising Chats, a show by Super Secret Powers. I'm your host, Lindsay Baldessano, and let's get ready for a dose of energy healing, channeled guidance, and humor to keep your intuitive flow open and your roots grounded so you can leave the life of healing, spiritual purpose, and magic that you want. So, we have a busy week ahead, astrologically speaking, because we got a lot of little stuff and one kind of big stuff, which is actually pretty good. Pretty good. Well, actually, two big stuffs. I don't know how the second one will play out. Let's see. So, I don't have a whole lot of hope for this week playing out as a nice, even, serenity focused week because we've got some things moving and shaking. Most notably, we have over the weekend, on Friday, we have Neptune going retrograde in Pisces and sextiled to Pluto. And also that day, we have Mercury trine Saturn. Not all terrible aspects or influences as things go. But we've got a lot of we've got like Venus and Mars energy in this. We've got a lot of things related to how we feel. Lots of things. the Venus and the Mars and the Pisces and the Neptune. That's all feely stuff. And I'm okay with feely stuff, but when feely stuff is all crammed into 1 week, it can feel a little bipolar. 1 minute we're happy and we're feeling like we belong and we're feeling like, we're where we need to be, all that beautiful Neptune Pisces stuff. And then like Mars comes in and Mars is like, oh, guess what? Now we're mad at the world. Because that stupid thing happened. So, how are you with navigating your inner realms of energy and emotion and thought? Because that is where the mastery lies in this week ahead. And I can tell you that, like, I've already like begun to feel like those little internal pressures like I need to release. So I'm happy that I had taken this weekend kind of off to focus on home stuff, to focus on, prepping for my own week ahead in my next month, which is full of beautiful coven work. But going back to this, so what can we do about all this? Oh, pardon me, burping. So definitely for the weekend, over the weekend when everything begins to go into retrograde and we have a whole bunch of astrological stuff happening on the first and the second and it's like a wham bam thank you ma'am kind of start to July, but a lot of amazing things can come from it. So let's focus on the amazing things, right? Of course, take the good and leave everything else as maybe that's not my thing to deal with. But perspective is needed. Don't forget, like, life doesn't, okay, it does, but it doesn't. Life can change in an instant, right? The minute you learn something new, It has the potential to change how you deal with everything else. But that change, just because you learned something in that instant, you still have to grow into that change. You still have to take the time to get your footing under you again, to, reshift your energies to support those newer priorities and, things like that. So it takes time. And remember that it takes time. Remember that just because you learned something that changed your perspective doesn't mean that you then have to, in an instant, change everything else. You can take a little bit of time to figure this stuff out. And this month is kind of that integration anyway. It can offer a lot of that integration support, especially when Venus goes into Leo, when we're going to really question like who we are. And I won't necessarily say our worth, but let's say our impact, and how we can impact things maybe even better, clearer, with more presence. So you got this month, and you do have some beautiful energies to come in and support that. So let's deep breath. This isn't about changing everything about who you are and how you're living right the very second you learn this something new. And then we're coming up on next week. Well, not next week, but like, Monday, we're getting the full moon in Capricorn, which will certainly lighten things up and make us feel like we can take that new adventure. Just make sure you're taking that adventure for the right reasons, for the internal reasons, for the I have to do this for myself reasons, because we can easily become ungrounded in what we think and what we feel and what we're going to do about it when everything gets stirred up with, the Venus and the Mars. So let your passions rise. Let them tell you what you need internally. Don't worry so much about what other people do, think, or say this week. I mean, make a note of it. See if you like that. But make the changes you need to make for your internal you. This is the week of your inner queen or your inner king rising. And that sovereignty coming forward of saying, y'all do you. I'm going to go do me. And we'll see if things work out from there. All right. So that's just some real talk around this week, because I don't feel like there's any way to sugarcoat that stuff, because it's, your authentic feels and reactions to the world happening around you. But the big spiritual lesson in this is that you always have to come back and see how it feels and see how you want it to feel. And you can't make other people cause you to feel the way you want to feel. You can't make people love you. You could hold boundaries, but you still can't make decisions for them. You really can't. I mean, you can try and push and control all you want, but it's only going to create a toxic relationship, a toxic need, resentment stuff inside you, and it's going to fall apart. So, start with the facts. Stick with the facts and see what you want to do with those facts. Anyway, if you are an empath and you're really struggling through this, I do offer personal one-to-one support. I do not have this big high-ticket thing, but I do have, small packages to work with over a short amount of time, let's say like 1 to 3 months. And you get to do the intensive work with me to get all of this stuff straightened out, to get your boundaries back where you need them to be, to get you in that space where you feel okay being you again, and naming your boundaries and staying in that place so that you can grow, so that you can have the emotional space and the emotional wherewithal to do what you want to do, to take some leaps, or to even just take some time to integrate and heal. So, whatever you need, we can handle that in the one-to-one sessions. I just call it the flow with your intuition because I really focus on the intuitive aspect of even the empathic messages that come through and making sure that you're okay with them and that you know how to handle them and you know how to interpret them for yourself. So, going forward, you do have some skills in this as well. All right. But look for the link in the show notes if you want to learn more about my one-to-one sessions. And on to light language. So welcome to the light language portion of this video. I'm going to light a little bit of frankincense here to help add to some of these energies that we're going to be building. And I hope you've had a beautiful solstice week last week. I hope that left you somewhat energized. And I know since Saturn went retrograde, there's a fly. Since Saturn went retrograde 10 days ago, week and a half ago, I've certainly felt like I can breathe again and just be, especially after I had kind of peaked and climaxed in my own energy and my own workings from doing the free Unleashed Masterclass, which was phenomenal. But that breather of just having like that 10 days or so now before things start to get a little janky really helped, especially that it was solstice week and it was so full of vitality and downloads and transmissions and insights and clearing and cleansing. And to kind of play into that perhaps this is an integration week. Perhaps this is a week where we get to then sort out some of that big energy into actual discerning feelings with the Venus and the Mars and the passions rising and all that. I'm going to call on the beautiful storm energy that we have here today in northeastern Pennsylvania to help us also do a little bit of clearing while we work on listening to our heart. And yes, I finally got some of my tools back. I still don't have my singing bowl. That's okay, because it's actually making me wonder if I need more. Not that I should be spending a lot of money right now, but I'm like, I feel like I need a set. I do. Just going nice and deep with the lowest tuning fork I have at present. And just breathing into the of it. Let's break up some of this stuff, some of this internal pressure we don't exactly need that isn't serving us. Breaking it up into collective. Clearing the smoke is the phrase that comes to mind. And no, not the frankincense. helping us see past the illusion of our immediate reactions to the more discernible potentials that come forward because things are getting shaken up a little bit. Now, some of the integration energy and the cleansing, pulling things back to center so that we can ground that as needed. Just taking a moment with these energies present to just experience a calmer state, a more relaxed state, a state where we feel that breath of space. Sealing that in a little bit. My new baby. Fluffing it out. You feel my sinuses releasing. And my tummy. Interesting. And remembering to anchor into that truth that all of this is happening for you, not to you. This is all part of the process because you are asking for something more. That patterns are going to be disrupted so that new energies and new energy patterns can begin to emerge in your system, in the collective. And take faith in the fact that this is also a high healing transmission time period. So we are also clearing a little bit of space out for the new transmissions that will come through over this retrograde summer when Sirius and Pleiades are peeking in our skies. And we remind you that you can return to this sort of practice at any point in time you need to, this eternal now space where the brain is comforted and is not producing too many extraneous thoughts because it is safe in this moment. You are consciously giving it a break. And the deeper you go with your breathing and your relaxation of the brain, the more soul can establish its foothold during this time. And we give you the blessing and the transmissions around allowing yourself to recognize that your heart is actually the gas pedal on all your manifestations and co-creations. It is the gateway as well. But let us focus on the analogy of the gas pedal, for it is how you would personally use it, so that once you feel whatever resonance or disresonance is coming through about a particular person, place, time, or thing, you know that this is from where your alignment stems to either change course or go forward. This is your green light go or your yield sign. Stop and wait for a different or better or more better timed opportunity. And that in this wholeness of this moment where you are experiencing your larger self, and you feel this serene sense that you know, or you begin to realize how much you can trust the feelings of wellness within the body to discern what is right and good for you. No pressure, no judgment. Just a simple need, desire, want, and enjoyment of being well within each present moment. There's lots of work here being done on the throat area so that we can simply express our desire to be in that kind of lazy summer energy where you get to focus on rest and self and your own vibrancy. Breaking out feelings of obligation, should, would, could, to reestablish want. And I have a feeling this is going to continue all month long, the space transmission. So I will end this now, but know that you can use this video or this light language transmission clip, especially if you're in the Queen of Inner Realms membership, to reestablish your connection to that base transmission. It's not just about the time. This will come to you exactly when you need it. Thank you. Thank you for participating. Thank you for helping us raise and clear things for the collective, for the ease and joy of all of us, right? All right. So So that is what I have for you this week from the astrological and the energy signs. But if you are a person who is trying to grow into trusting their intuition, who is trying to, really begin or continue picking up that path of really claiming your own sovereignty and your own divine self, then I invite you to listen to the Living with Intuition chats, which happens at least once a week, usually on a Wednesday. Sometimes we get two in. We'll see. We'll see how that goes in this beautiful summer of coming home to soul, right? And of course, don't forget about the links if you want to know more about my private one-to-ones for flowing with your intuition and empathy, especially during this retrograde season. It's going to stir up a lot of feels, and we want to make sure that you are well within yourself, right? And you get the tools and the knowledge and the know-how you also need to manage being in a high intensity state like this summer is going to provide us. All right. Love you all. I will see you next week. If you are not part of my free community, Magic Bringers Rising, or if you are not part of the Queen of Your Inner Realms membership, and look for the Living with Your Intuition episode in just a couple days. Have a good one. Blessed be.